If you think about it too much, you'll start sweating. Practice until your fingers fall off. Hello and thank you for clicking on this video. This video is going to be a little bit of a mixture of my journey of becoming a makeup artist and also some things that I think will be really useful for you if you are thinking of becoming one. When I started out, I looked for videos and information basically on how I could become a makeup artist, the things that I would have to do to be able to get clients, what kind of kit would I need. And I remember sitting and searching through YouTube and feeling like there were videos on a couple of different topics, but they were all sort of separate and dotted around, and I didn't feel like I found a video that definitively explained everything from just where you would start, how to set prices, how to build up clients, how to build social media presence. So I thought it'd be a really good idea for me to share my experience and my knowledge with you if you are looking to start out. I'm going to split them into little sections to make it easier. I have been a makeup artist for 3 years now and I love it. I love everything to do with makeup, and I am so glad that I took the step to do that. I honestly put it off for such a long time through basically being nervous that I wasn't going to get any clients or that I wasn't going to be any good at it. I used to get nervous about going to people's houses because I wanted to start out on a freelance basis. Just all of these questions that really put me off doing it for quite a long time. So when I decided I wanted to become a makeup artist, I started doing a lot of research online. I started looking at how celebrity makeup artists like Makeup by Mario, how he got started, his journey. I would look at other people's and I would think, so do I need to do that? I need to do that, I need to do this. The important thing to remember is no two people's journey with this is going to be the same, but what I am going to do in this video is just give you some advice on things that worked for me, and hopefully you can incorporate that into your steps to becoming a makeup artist. So where do you start when you want to become a makeup artist? Well, the first thing that I would say is really important to determine is what kind of artist do you want to be. There are tons of different types of makeup artists out there in the industry. So just as a couple of examples, you can have e-commerce makeup artists, you can have celebrity makeup artists, wedding makeup artists, fashion and photography makeup artists. You can have special effects makeup artists, people who work in TV. There are so many different arms off of being a makeup artist, and it's important to at least determine sort of which direction you want to go in. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to decide, I'm going to be a fashion and photography makeup artist and I can't do anything else, because the problem with some of the things is if you set your thing as, for example, a celebrity makeup artist, you can't just go out and do celebrity makeup. You have to gain experience, you have to do a lot of different things. So I would definitely say it is great if you can get experience in loads of different areas. The thing that you need to be able to determine is kind of the type of makeup that you are interested in. So for me personally, I quite like glam, natural, skin-based and just really flattering makeup. That's a style of makeup that I really enjoy doing. I do enjoy doing some more colourful and a little bit more dramatic looks from time to time. However, that kind of makeup isn't something that I would necessarily want to do on a daily basis or for every client. Whereas, for example, someone like Mama Mitchell, he has really colourful, very dramatic, really heavy makeup style. So he will do that sort of day in, day out. It's extremely creative and he's extremely skilled. That kind of makeup just isn't something that I would necessarily want to do. So once you've decided what kind of route you want to go down, where do you go next? I would say the most important thing is practice. I know that you will be sick of hearing this and you will probably find it everywhere, but when I say practice, I mean like practice until your fingers fall off. That is the best thing that you can do for your makeup artist career. It trumps absolutely everything. I would say that investing your time is 10 times as important as investing your money in being a makeup artist. Doing makeup on yourself is one thing. I used to do makeup on myself and I got pretty good at that. As soon as you flip it the other way and you're doing makeup on other people, so your clients, you're going to struggle, because you are so used to your face when you start off with people's different skin tones. They have different shaped eyes, different faces, they suit different products, different skin types. So there are a couple of things that you can do to be able to learn the skill of makeup. One would be to do a formal qualification and attend a college or a course of some kind, and the second one would be to practice and just practice. I would class myself as sort of qualified by experience, although I don't technically have like, here's a certificate to say that I am this and I'm that. I actually looked into courses at the beginning of my journey and decided that it wasn't for me. They cost thousands of pounds, and a lot of the things that were on the curriculums of these courses just wasn't something I was interested in. I didn't feel like I'd benefit from them, so I started out by practicing on friends and family. So anyone who's willing to let you do the makeup, I would do it on my mum. My cousin's here, she was my biggest guinea pig. She would just let me do her makeup all the time, and I've got actually a really good couple of photos to show you of the makeup that I used to do on her in the beginning to what I actually do now. So this picture right here is one of the first times I ever did her makeup, and I remember looking at this photo and being like, oh, like it looks so good. This was the beginning of my journey, so I was really impressed with myself. I really thought that it looked great, and now this is one of the more recent photos from when I've done her makeup, exactly the same face, but this is 3 years apart, and now I think this looks much better. I'm pretty sure in another 3 years I'll be sat looking at that photo, maybe thinking, oh, I've improved so much. So I would say the most important thing is practice on anyone that you can. Get your friends, get your family. Then you will reach a point where you feel a little bit more confident. You've practiced on a couple of different faces, and the next thing that you're going to need to do is get a bit of a kit together. So one of the most important things to remember is you do not need to go out and spend hundreds and thousands of pounds on a makeup kit, especially when you're starting out. You can start off with more affordable products and build your kit up as you go. I already had a pretty extensive collection of makeup. I'd been in love with makeup for years anyway. Extensive in the way of more than the average person. I didn't just have one foundation, one bronzer, one powder kind of thing. So that gave me a little bit of a basis. But I would say if you're someone who doesn't have anything, you just basically have the personal makeup you would wear on your face, I would first of all just start researching some more affordable brands to be able to purchase in the beginning. Just because something's low in price doesn't mean it's not good, doesn't mean it's not up to scratch and that you can't use that on your clients. I will do a separate video of a more in-depth sort of get your kit started video. You can do your research right here on YouTube of affordable foundations, powders, etc. So just make sure that you do your research before you go out and spend all of your money. So once you've done your research, you're going to need to purchase a few different products. You need a few foundations to be able to be prepared for different skin tones that you're going to have. Remember, you can mix foundations, so you don't necessarily need to go out and buy one of every shade in a foundation. And you'll need a couple of different shades of bronzers and powders. So they're the things that you'll need to tailor for different skin tones. Then when it comes to lipsticks and mascaras and eyeshadows and stuff like that, they're just generic and you can use them on anyone. Maybe get a palette like the Morphe 35G Bronze Golds palette. That will cover you for every brown or neutral makeup look that you need to do. Then maybe invest your money in a bit more of a colourful palette. The Me, Myself and Mama Mitchell palette is a really good one that's colourful and on Beauty Bay. It's not too expensive. So you've got your kit ready, and the next step that you need to take is to start doing makeup on actual clients. Now, the first thing that you have to think about before you can actually go and do makeup on a client, number one is what price you're going to charge. Number two is how you're going to get your clients, where you're going to advertise for them. This is something that I really struggled with in the beginning. I really wasn't sure how much I should be charging. What I did in the end was looked at some makeup artists in my area. I looked at their pricing. On average, they would range slightly, but I got a bit of a feeler what these people charged. I obviously took into consideration they had years of experience and were able to charge more than me, so I pretty much halved it. You don't want to make your prices too low so that people are suspicious as to why they're going to be too low. So for example, If someone offered you a car or a house for a really cheap price, one of the things that pops into your mind is, why is it so cheap? It can put people off. You need to make sure that you're charging enough so that people aren't questioning why it's so inexpensive, but also not too much because you are starting out. Another thing I would say is to point out to some people who are inquiring about your services that you are new. I wouldn't hide the fact that you are new to this career. I think it's really good to be really transparent with your clients. If you tell them that you're new to it and they decide not to go with you, that's absolutely fine. That is up to them. Don't be disheartened by that. People do get a bit nervous with makeup. It's the face, especially someone who's saying, you know, I've not got too much experience. But at this point, you should have been taking photos of the people that you've been practicing on. So you will have something for them to take a look at. So the best place that you're going to be able to advertise your services is social media. I started off with Instagram and later went on to Facebook. I basically just started posting the pictures of me practicing on my cousin and any of my family members. I put them up. I sometimes wasn't happy with them, but I knew I needed to get my page going. And then what I did was I asked all of my friends and family to share those pictures. So I ended up on Facebook. A lot of people who were friends of the family I connected more through Facebook. So I just created and set up a page and asked everyone I knew to share that. Then slowly but surely you will start getting likes and follows and you will start getting some jobs. So the first thing that I would point out is please be patient. You are not going to start up and in your first week get 5, 10, 15 bookings. It doesn't work like that. It does take time. It does take a lot of patience. And the important thing to remember is whilst you are waiting for bookings to come in, you still should be practicing, getting pictures where you can, posting them up just to show people that you're still active. People can view a lot more of your work and they can get to know you a little bit more as an artist. It's up to you how your page looks and what kind of style of photos you choose. Just try and make sure that they show your makeup off in the best light, which will often mean that you're going to need good lighting. So I started off with the newer ring light and I take that to every single appointment. I'm freelance, so I would carry my makeup kit, the ring light, and then eventually I purchased a chair. So after I'd been posting for a few months, I started getting some people booking in and I would go to their homes and I would do their makeup. One thing I would say, if you are going to be a freelance makeup artist, I used to send the name and address of the people I was going to see to a family member and I would let them know that I would check in when I got there and when I was leaving, just for safety purposes. If you are working in a salon, then you're not going to need to do this because you're going to be around other people. But with freelance and booking through social media, it's just to be careful, just to make sure that you're staying safe whilst you're doing your job. So when I would get to the appointments in my earlier days, I would be so nervous. I would be thinking, what if they ask me for something that I don't know how to do, or if I'm not confident with it? One way that you can actually tackle this problem is when you are messaging back and forward about appointment and agreeing times and things like that, you can ask the client if they've got any idea what they would like. Most of the time people will show you reference pictures. They will have found a picture online, it might be yours, it might be someone else's, and they will say, I really like that, can I have this, or can I have something similar, can I have this but I don't like this? And you have to really listen to what your makeup clients want. It's really important in the beginning to do almost a bit of a consultation. Ask them about their skin type, if they've got any allergies to any makeup, what kind of colour scheme they want, what kind of style they want. The important thing when being a makeup artist is to trust yourself and trust your judgment. By this point, you will have been practicing for quite a while. You will have worked with the products that you've got in your kit and you will have started to gain a little bit more confidence and your skill will be building every single day. Another important thing with clients is to build good relationships. So I'm quite a people's person anyway. I like chatting, I like meeting new people. It felt really easy for me to be able to speak to people whilst I was doing the makeup and get to know them personally as well. If you are going to build a good relationship with a client and have them come back and become a regular client of yours, you really need to invest in your relationships with people. I have clients that I've painted their face more times than I could count and I've actually got to know them as people. You get to know a little bit about their lives. You're constantly going into their home and they become almost more like friends than they do clients, and I think that's a really good place to get to with people. You're not going to have brilliant relationships or friendships with every single client. Not every client will become a regular client or come back. Some people get the makeup done as a one-off, some people will get it done once a year. But I just think it's good to value any client that books you. They're putting their trust and money into you to do their makeup, and that's a really big thing. So having that mutual respect there is really good. Another thing is difficult situations. I've been put in a couple of difficult situations with clients where I've felt like they've been unreasonable, a little bit rude, not very respectful towards me, which I don't expect because I treat everyone, you know, with the greatest of respect. I'm always really grateful for them booking me. You are able, if you wanted to, if you was put in that difficult decision, pack your kit up and get out. And the reason I speak about it like that is because I have had clients who I think, in their opinion, they're hiring me and they can speak to me how they want, or they can be as rude as they want, or they can just behave in a certain way that I would deem unacceptable. I work for myself, so I don't feel like I should put up with somebody treating me with no respect that way. One of the routes that I wanted to go down on my journey was wedding makeup. I loved bridal makeup. I loved how natural and how everything just sort of enhances people's natural beauty rather than piling loads of makeup on. I was really nervous to try and get into wedding makeup. After all, you are painting a woman's face on the biggest day of her life. If you think about it too much, you'll start sweating. I had been posting on Instagram for probably over a year before I got my first wedding job. So I was contacted by one of the bridesmaids. She had been tasked with finding a makeup artist for her best friend's wedding. She found me on Instagram by my hashtag. So I will hashtag the area that I live in, which is Manchester. I would do like hashtag Manchester MUA. I also cover places like Sheffield. So she just found me by one of them hashtags. She liked the look of my makeup and she asked me if I'd done wedding makeup before. I was honest and I said no. However, the makeup on my feed is the kind of makeup that I would do in a wedding, and because we'll be having a trial, I'd really like the opportunity to be able to do the makeup. She agreed and I met with the bride to do her trial. So she gave me a little bit of an idea of what she wanted. We did her makeup and I was probably there for about an hour and a half the first time. I really wanted to get it right. I was so excited. It was my first wedding and I promised myself I would give it everything. Luckily for me, the bride was really sweet. She still remains one of my favourite makeup jobs that I've ever done. She's such a lovely person and it went really well. Once I had done one, I got the professional photos from the photographer and I was able to advertise then that I would be doing wedding makeup, which then led on to other wedding jobs. So it is just being able to get that one opportunity that can open the door to all these other ones. And the final thing I want to touch on is development. So once you've started to get in some regular clients, you're getting new business regular and things are going really well, please don't stop developing your skills. You sometimes might feel like you've got it down. There's always something to be learned, whether it's different techniques, new products that have come out. My main area of developing was YouTube. I would find a makeup artist that I really liked their style of makeup, and if they had tutorials, I would watch them. If they would post product lists, I would look at the products. And I would just look at the way that they'd applied it. If they hadn't done any videos, I'd study photos. I've been to a couple of masterclasses, learned absolutely loads of things, purchased new products on the recommendation of well-established artists. So that is everything on my list to speak about. I really wanted to get into how you start out, how you build up clients, your kit, and just everything on from there. I feel like I can't put everything in this one video. So a couple of ideas that I've got for separate videos is how to start and build up your makeup artist kit. That would probably be one of the most important things. Also things like equipment and lighting. And the third one is probably a bit of advice on clients and how to manage your appointments and things like that. So they will be coming in separate videos. I wanted this mainly to be focused on how you can become one and a couple of things to get you started and a bit of information on how I was able to build up my makeup business. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you do have any questions whatsoever, please comment them down below. I will get back to you. Send me a DM on Instagram. I will answer any questions that you have. I am more than happy to help anyone who's wanting to get started in this career. So thank you very much again. If you did like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you again here soon. Thank you.
Let me feel your love again, 'cause I've been running round in circles screaming out your name.